The question of why we suffer, even when we believe in God, is one that touches the core of human existence. It's a deeply personal struggle, and the Bible offers insights that can help us process and find meaning in our pain. Suffering as a test of faith. The story of Job is a profound example. Job was a righteous man, yet he faced unimaginable suffering, loss of his family, health, and possessions. In the midst of his pain, Job questioned God, but held on to his faith. God eventually restored Job's fortunes, demonstrating that suffering is not always a punishment, but can be a test of faith and endurance. Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. Job 13:15. Sometimes, suffering reveals our inner strength and dependence on God. It teaches us that our faith can survive even in the darkest moments. Suffering produces growth. In the New Testament, Paul reflects on the purpose of hardship. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. Romans 5:3-4. God often uses suffering to refine and prepare us for greater purposes. Just as gold is purified in fire, our trials can purify our hearts and deepen our reliance on Him. God's presence in suffering. When we are in pain, it's easy to feel abandoned. However, the Bible assures us that God is always with us. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Psalm 23:4. God doesn't always remove the hardship, but He promises to walk with us through it. His presence can bring peace even in chaos. Jesus understands our pain. Jesus Himself experienced profound suffering, betrayal, rejection, and death on the cross. He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27:46. This shows that even the Son of God felt the weight of suffering. However, His resurrection reminds us that suffering is not the end. There is hope and redemption beyond it. God's plans are greater than ours. We might not understand why we suffer, but God sees the bigger picture. "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Isaiah 55:8-9. Trusting God's plan, even when it doesn't make sense, can bring peace and hope. Eternal perspective. Paul encourages believers to look beyond temporary suffering, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. To Corinthians 4:17. The pain of this life, though heavy, is small compared to the joy and peace of eternal life with God. Conclusion. God has not abandoned you. Though suffering feels unbearable, God is still present. He sees your pain, cares deeply for you, and has a purpose for your trials, even if it's not immediately clear. Cry out to Him. He is big enough to handle your doubts and questions. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. What you're going through now doesn't define your future. Hold on to hope, and let God's promises guide you through this season.